Welcome to Asbury United Methodist Church. My name is Peter. And today, let's begin by looking at the circle of the church year. We have 5 Sundays left until the start at Advent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we are 20 Sundays after Pentecost. And we have gone through early spring, we have gone through summer, and we are into fall. And I was taking a walk yesterday in the woods with my dog Coco, and you could smell the leaves on the floor. You could see the leaves falling down, and the leaves were just so colorful. We have reds. We have yellows. We have oranges. We are in the highlight of fall as the trees turn and reveal their glory. So, this is an exciting time of year to be outside and to just look and observe nature. Let's have a prayer. Good and gracious God, we thank you for the gift of fall. We thank you for the coolness in the air, the changing of the leaves. We thank you for the squirrels and the chipmunks gathering the acorns that will have them survive through the winter. We thank you for taking care of the animals, and we thank you for taking care of us. And we thank you for leading us in your ways. Amen. Today's godly lesson is the Exodus. And the Exodus takes place in the desert. It's not the whole desert here. It is only a piece of the desert. We need a part of the desert in our room because so many important things happen there to the people of God. The desert is a dangerous place. It almost never rains in the desert, so it's very hard for anything to grow there or to find any water to drink. And people die without food and water. And when the wind comes, it blows the sand. And the shape of the desert constantly changes. And people can lose their way. The desert is a dangerous place. You need to be ready to go into the desert. The people of God were living in a place where the rains did not come. The crops had no water, so they could not grow. There was no grain to grind to make bread, and everyone was hungry. And the children, they cried in their sleep. So their mothers and fathers decided to take their children and go to a new land where there was food. They had to go, even if it was across the desert. And so their journey began. It was hard in the desert, But they kept on going to the land called Egypt. And in the land of Egypt, the king was called the Pharaoh. And when the people came into the land of Egypt, they found food and work. But the Pharaoh, he trapped them. They could not go home again. They had to do what the Pharaoh said. They had to live where the Pharaoh told them. They had to get up when the Pharaoh said it was time to get up. And they had to go to bed when the Pharaoh said it was time to go to bed. They had to eat what the Pharaoh said, and they had to do the work of the Pharaoh. They had to do everything the Pharaoh commanded. For the people of God were slaves. Now one of the people, whose name was Moses, came to the Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." And the Pharaoh said, "No." And Moses went back many times to tell the Pharaoh, "Let my people go." But the Pharaoh always said, "No." Then many strange things happened in the land. But the Pharaoh always said no. Then something terrible happened. The oldest boy in each Egyptian family died, even in the family of the Pharaoh. The oldest boys in the families of the people of God did not die, because the people made a mark on the doors of their homes. They put the blood of the lamb there, and the angel of death passed over them. When Moses went back this time and said, "Let my people go," the Pharaoh said, "Yes." The people began to hurry to get everything ready. They packed all they could carry, and they baked bread for the journey. For there was no time to put leaven in the bread, so that it would swell up and get big and fluffy, like the bread you and I buy in the store. The bread was flat. And it looked like this. You can still eat this bread today. It's called matzah. And whenever you taste it, you can taste the story. The people got ready, and they ran as fast as they could. And they went as fast as they could, for they were afraid the Pharaoh would change his mind. And suddenly they heard the sound they did not want to hear. The ground began to shake. The Pharaoh's army was coming after them, and the beating of the horses' hooves and the rolling of the chariots sounded like thunder. and the army of the Pharaoh pushed the people against the water. And they did not know what to do. God came so close to Moses, and Moses came so close to God, that Moses knew how to take the people through the water into freedom. And Moses raised his staff, and the water divided. And the people started to go through. This one was hesitant, afraid of what might happen. This one ran all the way through. This one was kind of confused. Kind of stayed in the middle, away from the water. This one was so happy to be finally away. And the people kept going. Until finally, all the people were on the other side, and Moses joined them. And when all the people were safe on the other side, the waters closed behind them, and they were free. The army of the Pharaoh could not get to them. Now all the people were free on the other side, and they were so happy that they just had to give thanks to God. So Miriam, the sister of Moses, led them dancing. Now I wonder, what part of this story you like best? I wonder what part of the story is most important. I wonder what part of the story is about you, or where you are in the story. I wonder if there is any part of the story we can leave out and still have all the story we need. Like we said earlier, this is the matzah. This is the flat bread that the people made quickly. And you can still eat it today. Whenever you taste this bread, you taste the story. This is the bread of the Passover feast called the matzah. Yes, there is nothing in the bread except flour and water, for the children of God had to hurry. There is no leaven or yeast in the bread to make it get big and fluffy, like the bread we buy today. This is called unleavened bread. What you taste is the story. And I wonder where God has been with you during this past week. Maybe you can draw a picture, write a song, do a dance to show God's presence in your life. And until we meet again, may the peace of God be with you now and always. Amen.